So at least this is my exam for take-home analysis. As you can see here, we have 12 players, which gives us 12 rows and 6 columns, which is 1 for names and 5 for innings. As you can see here, we have our sorting order for our array, which we're going to find the largest number and move into the first position manually. And for part 3, I broke it down into two different parallel arrays, one for outfield position and one for infield position. I started thinking about how many loops we will need, and my first thought was 2. As you can see, a problem that I faced is where I had multiple people have the same position and some of them weren't even assigned position. Shout out to Kareem. He had a problem where the last couple people were not assigned a position, and he fixed it by adding an attempt variable and a check succeed loop. Shout out to him due to the reason why is he helped me fix the problem that I had. Now let's move on to the coding. As you can see here, we have our global decoration and our function prototypes. And in our int main function, we have our decoration with the seed that you gave us in the instructions. Then we have our user input where I broke it down into 2 parts. And then we have our helper function in our calculations, and we have our output right here. And then we have our select and sort function, which we pretty much talked about already. Now let's move on to these 3 functions where they're pretty much the helper function for our assigned player position. Now let's go over the reset parallel array. What it does down here, it pretty much resets it to 0 after each inning. Now let's move into our check rules function. As you can see, the check rule function takes care of the position that could be in a 2D array. If so, it will return it false. If not, true. Our previous inning checks for our previous inning function if it checks if it's infield or outfield position, so we could do the opposite for the next inning and our current inning. In our assigned player position, we have our decorations, and we have our while loop where we check to make sure it is unsuccessful operation. But it will return true. If the total correct position equals number of positions, it means that the total correct position is the base of the inning and total of players. Let me show you an example above. As you can see, we have 12 for number of players and 5 for inning, which gives us 60. Once we reach 60, it means that the program is over. Now let's go back to that function. And the for loop starts at 1 because the first column is the name we have. And as you can see in here, we have more decorations. The while loop will keep running until the correct position are assigned or not. We do not pass 200 attempts. We have our random functions. And we have our interior operators. As you can see here, our if statement and else if statement are pretty much the same, so I'm only going to go over one. If the assigned pair array has an empty position that have not been assigned, if so, we will assign it. Then we will check for if the previous inning is going to be an outfield position, so we can assign it to an infield position or not. If it is the first one to see the previous inning is named so that it is not written up. Inside, we will call our check root function. If it is true, then we'll do these operations. Now let's move on to the debugging. Oh, sorry about that. Open it back up. Okay, boom. Anyway, enter, boom. Anyway, now let's work the magic. As you can see here, we have our name from the person who has the highest batting average to the lowest. And as you can see here, all the positions are random and no one has the same position. Thank you for watching the video and hope you have a nice day.